Okay, Shelby. Um, so I wanted to send you the screencast of creating your CSS document, and we're adding it to um, your HTML file. Um, Thank you for accepting the invitation to be a collaborator. We'll look at that as well. But I wanted to just show you um, how to make that CSS file. So in Dreamweaver, it's fairly straightforward. So you'll go to File, New. Um, we previously created an HTML file, but you're just going to create a CSS file, and then you're going to hit Create. Okay. So for the CSS file, it's a little bit different where there really isn't a live view of it. So it's really just this document, and then you're going to start typing in it. And the starter CSS that you're going to actually type out, it is in Canvas. So let me open that up. Um, Let me see if we can had it on. So it is in Canvas in our module. I'll show you where it is. It's in the intro to CSS. It's a very short little patch of code. So right here, this screenshot or it's in that intro to CSS PDF. This is what you would be typing in this CSS document. Okay. And it worked just the same. I don't think body. The biggest difference between CSS and HTML is the punctuation. So we now have like these little curly brackets. And as you can see, when I start typing in Dreamweaver, it kind of helps fill in like that other bracket. But you can actually use what Dreamweaver kind of suggests. That's fine. And the most other important part is that everything ends with a semicolon. Um, and then I can go to my next one. So for every property, right, for these, like this body, like tag or selector that's showing up in our CSS, it's going to correspond to the elements in our HTML page. So for this one too, the H1, H2, I'm going to do the color really quick so you can see this. Okay. And then the next one is the P for paragraph. And color. And the 6-digit number that you see here, it's the hex code. All the numbers or the colors in web, they're designated by these 6-digit codes. And you can find them like in Photoshop, or like as you can see here, I'm kind of hovering over it, and in Dreamweaver actually shows me a little screen where I can, adjust these colors, and you can kind of see it. So it's kind of like a brown color. And you can, if you choose, you can select a different one, and this would be the color that you put in here. So I'm going to insert my semicolon and save it. So I already had styles, but I'll just name this styles. Okay. So you're saving all of your files in that web design folder that is basically for your final upload. Okay. So you had two folders that were set up: a web design working folder, which like all of your layered files would be, and then you have your working folder. And so for your CSS and for your HTML, you're saving this in like that final folder, so not in the working folder. Okay. So in looking at this, right, so this is our basic CSS file, and just kind of line by line, this is talking about the character set, and it's like a certain type of encoding that happens. And then line 2, it tells you what type of document this is for what we just entered for our CSS. So CSS is like the styling for our pages. While HTML is the content, CSS is going to provide a little bit of the style. And so for the most part, you can see like the spacing is a little bit different from this example to just what I typed out. The most important parts are these curly brackets and these semicolons. Okay. This blue word, it basically represents all the different elements that are in your HTML file. So we have a body tag in our HTML tag, an H1 and an H2 tag, which are the headers, and then a P tag for the paragraph. So how you would kind of decipher this is in the styling, this little section here that we just kind of typed, it's telling the HTML file, once we link it, like for anything that's in the body tag, please display it with Gill Sans. If Gill Sans isn't available, please use Gill Sans MT. If Gill Sans MT isn't available, please use Myriad Pro. If this font isn't available, or if this font isn't available, or for Helvetica or Arial isn't available, just find a sans serif font on the user's computer that exists. So for the H1, H2, so anything that has an H1 or anything that has an H2, you're telling the HTML file in this, like through this CSS line, that you want it to be this particular color. Okay, so this hex number, I believe it's like a pink, but you can change that if you'd like. It's right here, it displays it. For the paragraph, so anything that has a paragraph tag, it's going to display in the color. I think this is kind of like a light brown caramelish color, right? And so those are like just a couple of like styles to start us off. So basically anything that has a tag in your HTML, you can actually set a style for it, and it would be in your CSS file. Like, so we could continually add to this if there was, other elements we wanted to manipulate. Okay, so just setting that up so we have our CSS file, that would be good. And you can kind of see that it is in my folder, right? Here's styles.css. And it is in my web design folder. Okay, so I would suggest, create your CSS. I'll record another little video to show you how you can connect your CSS and your HTML so they can talk to each other, and you can see how the styles will be applied. Okay, so and again, this code is also in Canvas.